Hi.
We're back.
How's it going?
Good. Oh, weird. I got all these bugs on me. Hold on. Ugh.
Oh, oh no.
Weird. Okay. That was weird.
That
Good
was weird.
morning, Daniel.
Good morning, Chloe. How are you doing today?
Oh, overwhelmed. But other than that, doing okay. How about you?
I'm doing great. Honestly, I took a walk this morning. I got my groceries delivered, COVID
Oh,
safe.
fun. COVID safe.
Yeah, I've been doing really well. And honestly, I've been just really enjoying the social justice that like Chloe has been just given to the children, on Twitter.
I've been known to walk children in nature. Oh gosh, these bugs are back. Oh, the nature, the
Literally the
nature.
nature. The plants in the background, the macrame, like we stand a nature queen.
Oh yes. I also am drinking out of my Corona cup that I bought early in the core. Can you believe it's
You mean the
almost been
Panera? You
the
know the
Panera?
Panera. Yeah,
It's almost been a year of the panini here. But we're back. It's Tuesday. We're back for another episode of Adopt a Dev. If people have never
very
tuned in,
special. A very special episode of
it's a
Adopted Dev.
very special episode of Adopt a Dev because actually this is combining hi Sarah. Hello. This episode will be combining two cinematic universes today.
Yes.
The Show Must Go Off Cinematic Universe, which is a show that I do on Thursday nights,
Uh-huh.
with my Tuesday morning show today, Adopt a Dev. Now, this is the show where, well, you explain it, Daniel. What do we do on this show?
Yeah, so we showcase the amazing talent that's out there, who are from non-traditional backgrounds, folks who are trying to get into tech, and we just like showcase them. We love them. We compliment them. We get to see all of their cool projects. We talk about their journey into tech, and hopefully inspire some folks to maybe pursue a career in the technologies.
We're basically like, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you look like Linda Evangelista, you're a model. That's Drag Race quote for our guest. I don't think they've seen that episode. It's a recent season. Yeah, I love a crossover too, Sarah. I think my favorite crossover, didn't the Flintstones meet the Jetsons once? I want to say that was a crossover. That's one that we're gonna have to cover, Sarah. But yeah, this is one of my favorite shows because we get to just feature really amazing human beings who are currently looking for jobs and
Mhm.
entering the tech space, typically from non-traditional backgrounds. Oh my gosh, let's do a quick recap of some previous guests we've had before we bring our new one in.
Yeah.
We've had everything from straight up clowns. We've had everything from
We have another clown coming next week.
that's right, we do. We're going to be having another former circus performers. Hi, Whipch. I hope I'm saying this right. Whipch. Ooh, a little
Ooh,
snake thing. Hi,
exciting.
the tracks. Welcome back. And today is a very special episode. Oh, wait. We forgot. We had Rowan, who built an amazing app that fights
Yeah.
babies against babies.
We actually pair programmed them. We actually added some features where the babies shake now. It's very cute.
Oh my gosh. I am so excited to check out that stream. Everybody go to Daniel's. Not now. Wait, because you got to meet our guest today. But I did get a Twitch notification on my phone when that was happening. I was at home with my dad and I was like, ooh, babies are fighting each other in this app and I need to check
But
it out.
very gently. Like there's no
Very
violence.
gentle.
Very
Yeah,
gentle.
they're babies.
They're babies.
Yeah, let's see. Ooh, thank you for the follow. Pujo Lewis. Tell me if I'm saying that right. Pujo Lewis or Louis? Louis. We'll see. Very, very excited for our guests today. I kind of just want to bring them in, but
Definitely.
before I do,
Mhm.
I oh gosh, I'm so ill prepared. I should have had a sound effect ready. So if our guest is hearing this right
Wait,
now,
wait.
which I
I
know
can
they
I can
are,
have a sound effect. What sound effect
okay.
do you want?
I'm thinking the perfect intro for this guest would
Uh-huh.
be there's a certain country music singer that
Oh shoot,
goes,
I know. I know which one.
girls. You may recognize this human being from their fantastic projects and collaborations with myself, which include Ariana Grande Bot, It's Britney Bot, and Bot underscore Shania. Welcome to the show.
This one?
PJ Metz! Okay, we can't pay for it. You guys turn it off.
Okay.
We do it. We have 7 seconds of this one.
Let's go, girls.
Boom.
That was
We
Boom.
made it.
I need
Yo,
to do
we
that
made
from
it.
now on. Wait, do it
We
again. Do
made
it again.
it.
Hold on,
Hold
do
on.
one. Wait, let me find a cowboy hat and I'm gonna time it perfectly. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay. Do you
I'll
have a
pretend
cowboy
to have
hat
one.
in those filters?
I would be really surprised if I know there's a Woody one. Okay. Do it now.
Let's go, girls.
Okay,
Yes.
one more.
What strange hell?
Icons only. Icons only.
Amazing.
Okay, do
All
one
right, one more.
Let's go, girls.
The best moment I've ever seen on any stream ever, Sarah says. We gotta clip that. I don't know how to clip a highlight, but we're gonna figure out how to do it.
I'm clipping them. It's gonna be on my channel at least. It's gonna. Oh my god. Well, that's the show, folks.
That's
Thanks
the
for coming.
show. We peaked early. What
I
is
don't
this?
know what else we can do. What is that? What's happening? Oh, wait, that one was for a puppy.
Honestly, yeehaw.
Oh, is that what that means? This is for a dog, and it's waiting for a dog's face.
Look for cat or dog.
Oh, what if I put a baby Yoda plush?
I don't think that'll work.
Okay. Well, welcome to the show, PJ.
Hi.
We are so excited to have you here. For the folks who aren't familiar with our other show, or maybe the crossover episode. So, to give a little context here, Daniel actually came on to PJ and I have a show called The Show Must Go Off the Air. It is a show that literally exists to get rid of it because we want
hate
PJ
it.
to get a job and not to do the show anymore. And we had
Exactly.
Daniel on the show who talked to us all about doing a makeover of PJ's resume.
Mhm.
And a very, very important canonical thing happened on this episode. PJ, do you want to tell the folks at home?
Yeah, so we were using Canva because Chloe, maybe you don't know this, but Chloe, Canva, they go together like peanut butter and jelly. And what happened was I was working in Canva. I was making my resume. We were talking about how we were going to do it. And there's a little button that says you can purchase this. And I was like, oh yeah, like, you know, you have them professionally printed. You have them put it in a book, whatever. And it was like, do you want this on a mug? And I was like, you can
Yes.
put the resume
Yes.
on a mug. And I think I might have a reveal actually in this very moment.
What?
And this might actually be a great thing to do here. You're not gonna believe it. I ordered mugs.
What? Yes! Yes!
A reveal on the show.
An
An
unboxing.
unboxing, if you
An
will.
unboxing.
Canva, please sponsor us. Canva, we
Canva?
love you so much.
High
Oh, that's awesome!
quality. Super high quality.
La gasp! Oh my god!
Look, yeah.
Your cup of creativity is here. Which,
Right.
oddly enough, has been the tagline on every email I've sent to all these people I'm applying to. And you guys, no joke,
Oh my god! Oh my god!
here it is.
I gotta make you the big boy. I gotta make you the big boy. This is beautiful. Oh wait, I have to
That
take a
is-
screenshot. I have to take a screenshot.
That is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life.
Okay,
So-
3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh.
I ordered 200 of these. No, I did not order 200.
Wait, hold it up to the screen one more time.
It's not focusing. Don't focus on me.
The star is too bright, honestly.
It's beautiful. This is the most beautiful. This is product placement for Canva. We are not sponsored by
Listen,
them. We
Canva,
just love them
we
so
should-
much.
We should be sponsored by them. But
Callie says, PJ, can I get some of your merch, please?
listen, once I can actually have real merch. Thanks,
This
Wolfie.
is beautiful. Gosh, I'm happy you made this in time for this as
Is
well.
thi- is this not- It is the silliest thing I have ever done in my life, and I can't wait to actually like send it to someone. I gotta send it to someone. Be like, here you go.
I love it. I'm obsessed. We'll have merch in the PJ
You know-
store soon.
And actually, on
That
the
is
underside of this
amazing.
box too says this.
Creativity,
Cute.
the intelligence of having fun.
Jane
And
Mass
that's kinda
sends instant hire.
Hi, listen, tell someone.
About it right now.
That intelligence and creativity, that's kind of what we talked about on Thursday with the rabbi, Chloe.
That's
on our show.
true. We had a really cool guest on the show last week, the Tech Rabbi. Follow them on Twitter. Amazing human being. And we learned all about, well, we talked all about and learned about adding creativity to everything you do and not thinking of things as like technical versus creative, but just creativity being a state of mind and being and existing.
Mhm.
And I gotta say, a mug with a resume on it, pretty creative.
Pretty
just
That's
gonna
right.
just
Also,
gonna put it out there.
anyone I send it to, I'm gonna need you to reimburse me for it. Because I am currently unemployed. Because,
Yes,
up until very
PJ.
recently, yeah, I was a working high school teacher, and I do need to make a hat. That's true. Hey, Callie. But I realized that I was not. I was putting a little bit of time into this. I was streaming with Chloe. I was streaming with Brandon. I was reaching out to people and talking, but I felt like I wasn't able to put a lot of time into it. So at the end of the third quarter, towards the end of it, I put in my 2 weeks, and the school said, "Hey, you're good to go." At the end of the week, and so I am now currently unemployed, and this is giving me a lot of like drive and a lot of determination. And as soon as it happened, I was like, "Chloe, Daniel, put me on the show. I need it, please. I will be on your
Yes.
next show. I gotta get on. And I just need to put my name out there. I am looking for Jane Mass. I'm looking for DevRel or junior DevRel roles. Tech writer, I am interested in as well, and really just a junior developer as well. If you're like, we want someone who's going to work well with a team. We want someone who's going to come in and be a great addition to our other humans, who has the basic skills, but they just need to level up. I'm that guy. I need to level up. So I'm working on my own, of course, and like doing my best with the Shania bot that I made with Chloe. And actually, Daniel came in one time and helped us with Shania as well. He's got a comment living in the code somewhere.
I do. I
He
looked at the
does.
source code and I was so proud of myself. I was like, wow, that's me right there. There's a
Is
piece of
Level
me
Up
in
by
Shania.
Sierra, as in Sierra, like Sierra when we were like younger?
Yeah, level up.
She's
Level Up.
back. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe she never left, but
My wife and I made a parody of that sign called Piggle Up, and it's all about being a little piggy. That's the kind of creativity you get when you hire a former teacher.
PJ Metz.
Yeah. That's
so
right.
PJ, I realize we've told the story on a lot of other shows, but not this one today. Tell the lovely human beings who are tuning in how you discovered programming, because I think it's a really interesting story.
Yeah, so the year is 1996, and my parents shipped me off to a computer camp with my cousin, who is now like he's like for real deal, like tech, like he's that dude. But I was learning BASIC in 1996, and I was like, this is neat, and then I stopped with programming, like, until May of 2020. And so May 2020 rolls around, and I'm hanging out at a Zoom happy hour with some friends of mine. And one of them, a great friend of mine who I've known since 2009, says that he was upset because he's being kind of underpaid for his position. He had talked around, and some people were sharing their income levels, and he was like, I'm being underpaid. And we were like, well, how much are you being underpaid by? And he goes, I'm being underpaid by like $50K. And I was like, oh man, that's a lot. And then I go, that's how much I make in a year. And then I kind of reached for the bottle of whiskey that was near me and poured a double. And I just sort of like remember feeling like, man, I'm like, as a teacher, never going to approach the point where I'm being underpaid by that much. I'm just sort of like regular underpaid as a teacher. Like, teachers don't get
Pay
paid.
teachers more. Pay teachers
Pay
more.
teachers more, absolutely. But basically, I lament it, and we were all laughing. And my friend Brandon Minnick reaches out to me, and Brandon's a DevRel at Microsoft who works with Xamarin, and he's a brilliant dude.
And
He
my
goes, "Hey,
coworker.
maybe Chloe knows him and has like seen his face in real life once or twice." But Brandon says, "Dude, I'm pretty sure you could do what I do. You just need to learn how to code." I was like, "No, yeah, like I'm an English brain. I can't learn how to code." And Brandon says, "No, it might actually be easier than you think. Look, take a look at this video." And he sends me some Shane Hanselman from Microsoft videos about C Sharp and your first steps with C Sharp. And I watched the whole like 13 video series by the end of the next week, and I got back to Brandon. I was like, "Hey, I watched all the videos. What else do you have?" And he goes, "Oh, that was optional. You didn't have to. It was just an intro." And he says, "You're really excited about this." I was like, "Yeah, it seems really neat. Like I even like subscribed to Codecademy, and I've even like started working on things. And I wrote my Hello World the other day." And he was like, "Oh, you're moving way faster than I thought." So I start working with Brandon. Brandon immediately introduces me to Chloe because Chloe is a non-traditional background, which is what I aim to be. I went to school to learn how to read poetry and how to teach kids to read poetry. So this is a very different field for me. But Chloe has already done amazing things in this field. Yeah, that girl right there.
I am but 3 Muppets in a trench coat, sir.
Fighting evil by moonlight, that girl.
Yes.
But so I was drawn by the money, but as soon as I got into it, I saw the sort of creativity possibilities that there were within code. And then when I learned more about, like, literally about DevRel, I got even more excited, even more just like ready to do so much in this industry. And so now I'm here begging for a job on Adopt-A-Dev.
Yay! Well, and it's been really incredible for me to see PJ on his hashtag journey, as we used to say in theater, because when I was learning to program, it was a similar situation for me. I was coming from a arts background. I didn't have a lot of familiarity with tech, and it really just took someone telling me, you know, you can still do this, right? Like, you can still learn how to code. And sometimes it truly just takes someone telling you can do the thing. And I think that's so important to just iterate on this show for anybody out there who doesn't see themselves in this industry and thinks like, oh, you know, I don't belong either because you look, act, sound different, have a different background. We need you. Like, we need your diverse perspective in this industry, or all of the technology and tools that we're going to build are going to be exactly the same. So
Yeah.
what's been really exciting for me, and I'm kind of jealous, y'all, of PJ, because I
Don't be. That's a mistake.
Well, I learned how to code, and I attended a boot camp, paid about $20K to do it, and came out on the other end with a job. But you, PJ, have had enough discipline during a global Panera and I wasn't working a job while I went to my boot camp. PJ has been working full time as a high school teacher, making curriculum, working with the drum line, doing all these
Grading the dang
extracurriculars.
essays. Oh my
He
God.
made a very funny thumbnail for a YouTube video for his students. PJ was working full time, taught himself how to code. It's been how many months now? 9, 7, 6?
10. It was
10 months.
And end of May 2020 was when I started, and I had summer. Like during the summer, normally since I'm a teacher, I have to have a second job. So I've been a camp counselor at the Jewish Community Center where I help kids make fun YouTube videos and stuff. I've been a server at Chili's, and actually I kept the Chili's job all the way through the fall. So I was working with the drum line, going to football games, teaching English, and working at a Chili's. And yes, I did work on that Chili's.
PJ, baby back ribs.
One of my favorite things of working at that Chili's was actually when like students would come in and they would like sit down, and I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, Paul!" And they'd be like, "What?" And the parents are like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm Mr. Metz. I teach, but here I'm PJ, but I'm Mr. Metz. We've got $5 margaritas. What can I get you?"
Please tip me. I love this comment from Jeremy Morgan that says, "I've personally found that folks with non-traditional backgrounds come up with the most creative solutions. Glad you're all talking about this." I agree. I don't think I think a majority of the innovative solutions that I find within Microsoft, within a lot of major organizations, come from people kind of disrupting the social norm. And that is why I got super, super excited when PJ's like, well, okay, first of all, take a step back. I got to share my screen
Yeah.
here in a second.
Hold up.
Because PJ and I, so obviously Brandon Minnick, my coworker, was like, hey, you and PJ should like chat and talk about, DevRel and stuff. And I was like, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. And then PJ, I had sent PJ a Twitter bot because PJ was pretty new to the world of technology at this point, and we were sharing different Twitter bots that we liked. And PJ, you messaged me a tweet from someone that said, what does the tweet say? I'm trying to remember the exact words.
If I were Shania Twain, I would tweet out every day, "Let's go, girls," at the beginning of the day.
Yes. And so
I was like,
PJ
This
messages
is
me.
origin story.
This is lore.
And he's like, is this something we can build? And I was like, dude, we can build this in like 5 minutes, which we did. So if you're not following bot_Shania on Twitter, I will put it in the chat here for all of your motivational needs. This bot tweets every day, "Let's go, girls," at the start of the day, so you can remember to go.
That's
Yesterday,
right.
we had a special tweet that said, let's go, women.
And there was a bunch of people asking if she was impressed too. That was good. We had some good engagement yesterday.
Yes. If you at bot_Shania and ask if she's impressed in any way, she will tell you it does not impress her much. And this is a project that PJ and I have been working furiously on for the past month or so. Make sure you go follow it. So these are but here's the thing. Do I think anyone else could have built this? No. 2 weirdos had to build bot_Shania for it to come into existence, and I'm so glad that she exists.
For a
I'm
very, very
so
long
amazed.
time.
Yeah.
Also, make sure that you
bot_Shania had more
follow
followers.
Badiana Grande.
Tatiana Grande is she's
A work in progress.
I'm trying to put her up on Heroku. She's so close. Having the same issues that we had when we tried to put Shania on Heroku, and I just have to remember how we worked through them. But we lost her code. We lost Ariana's code recently.
Oh no!
Where's
I had to rebuild
Ariana?
her.
One
is she?
taught her love. One taught her patience.
We've got 7 rings of Badiana.
I needed needed Shania in my life. I'm so glad we're here to provide it.
I really can't tell you how often I get on Twitter and I'm like, oh, like I'm tired, or I'm like feeling like meh, and then I see like Shania pops up and I'm like, that's right, and I get excited and like I approach the day with renewed vigor. It's exciting.
I should also mention quick plug for It's Brittany Bot. She will tell you every evening. It's Brittany Bots. We got a feature request today that when you at her, that we reply free her, free Brittany. So go ahead and follow It's Brittany Bot as well. We'll link that in the chat. But enough about bots. Enough about the Divas Live of bots.
Divas Live.
Divas
Live.
Live.
That's right.
Daniel, do you know what Divas Live is? I feel
Yeah,
like you're
isn't
too
that
young
like
for it.
Isn't that like a TV show where like people used to, like Diana Ross and like
Yeah.
other
Oh,
famous divas like used to go? I never watched it, but I saw it on Twitter.
impressed. I'm impressed much.
That's good. I'm impressed much. That's right.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I've asked the bot, like Shania, if she was impressed, and she's always says she's unimpressed. But I'm so
I'm
happy I can get the
Googling-
validation today.
Was Shania Twain on Divas Live?
Ooh.
Ooh.
I
Oh.
saw a TikTok with Shania Twain the other day.
She was part of organizing it. She was one of the organizers.
Oh.
Oh.
I love it.
Boss lady.
Mariah Carey, Celine Dion. I remember when, what was it? Joss Stone was on Divas. Or
Joss
was that
Whedon.
not Joss Whedon? Was
Wait,
that
how long ago was
Not
this?
Joss Whedon. This was 2001. Was
98.
Wow.
It says initial
98.
release was 98.
Oh God, I was.
Whoa,
I
God.
was in 7th and 8th grade in '98.
Gloria
And I was
Estefan,
a
Aretha
thought.
Franklin, Mariah, Celine.
People still listen to Gloria Estefan, right? Like Miami Sound Machine is really good.
Isn't she-
really good?
Come and shake your body, baby.
Yeah,
They played that at
Conga,
Chuck E. Cheese a lot.
1,
I was a
2,
kid.
3, which is if you want to learn how to count,
Uh-huh.
Gloria Estefan can teach you. She can do it.
We love
1,
it.
2, 3, 4. Come on, baby. sing
PJ.
with me.
How has the job search been going? my dude?
Oh man, you know what I do all day?
What do you do all day?
I cold message people on Twitter. I'm like, "Hello, I saw that you work here. I'm interested in a job, and I heard you might have a job." Honestly, the hard part is whenever I'm looking at like postings and sites and stuff, I'll see like 3 years experience or like we want you to be working with these frameworks, and I'm like, I don't know those, and like to work with those frameworks, I have to go out and be like, and now I'm going to learn Ruby on Rails, and now I'm going to work with this. Right now, I've got Node, luckily, because Chloe suggested we write suggested we write Shania in Node, so I've got some experience with Node, and Brandon and I, since Brandon's a C# dude, we built my website in ASP.NET Core, and we're using Entity Framework Core with a MySQL database. Which actually, that's such a funny story. We haven't been able to stream in a while, Brandon and I. But we've been waiting. We updated to .NET 5 for my website. And we've been waiting for Oracle to push the .NET 5 version of their interaction with the database so that we can actually update Entity Framework Core too. So we've been waiting. And it finally happened the other day. So now my website's fully .NET 5. It's pretty exciting. But honestly, all day I'm just looking at applications, and the first thought in my head is like, well, I can't do that. Well, I can't do that. I don't know that. I don't have the experience. I don't.
So here's an important thing that I will share that kind of blew my mind after my boot camp. I started applying for junior dev roles. So my boot camp taught me Python, JavaScript. And what I ended up learning was a boot camp / your time kind of learning, like a boot camp teaches you how to learn a language. Like you learn how to, because essentially like every language is pretty similar with different syntax and stuff. So the boot camp I feel like was put in place to teach me how to do that. Most of my cohort mates ended up getting jobs at places that were Ruby shops. I interviewed for a lot of places that were in different languages. I had a friend who got a job at ADP and they had a proprietary language. So it's tough because when these companies, I remember one of my first technical interviews, they gave me a challenge in Ruby, and I was lucky enough to, I have a partner who has been in the tech industry a very long time, and I was like, what do I do? Like, I don't know how to write Ruby, and I'm going to look like an idiot writing this app. And he said, be honest with them. They know you're a boot camp grad. Tell them, here's the coding challenge I put together. I taught myself Ruby to do this, and I stayed within the, they always tell you work only an hour on this, and you work like 5 hours on it, right?
Yeah.
But I think being transparent and open with people during your interview process is something that I felt really scared to do. It seems like such a simple thing, but I turned in my coding challenge, and I remember them emailing me back and saying, hey, Chloe, this is great. We'd love to bring you on for an on-site. We will be doing a coding challenges in Ruby. And I said, oh my gosh, now I have to go and do whiteboarding in Ruby when like I only know these two languages. And my boyfriend said, just tell them that like they know that you're a boot camp grad. Like they know all of this information. So don't ever feel afraid to admit what you don't know. Like this at any job, like there are going to be things, there's an expectation that you will learn a lot of things on the job. I love this question or this comment here. Yesterday, I told an interviewer I didn't know Ajax and instead told them I'd be open to learn. It was scary to say that, but felt good. Yeah. I agree.
I'm trying to be very honest and say, like, one of the things I do have going for me is I've been 11 years a professional. Like, it hasn't been in this field, but I know what it's like to work on a team. I know what it's like to be in a work environment. I know what it's like to work hard. I'm not a younger person who's just getting into the professional world. I've been there. I just need to learn how to do the thing you want me to do. And I'll be quick with it too, Which is
such a hard thing to communicate. Like folks like me, folks like you, folks like Lorena, we are grown ass adults. Like I am 31 years old. Like I think in a lot of people's minds, hiring a boot camp grad or hiring a self-taught person, especially when they've learned later in life, is like, oh my gosh, we're bringing on this total junior. They're not even going to know how to use a Word doc or anything. It's like, no, these are people who have been working a majority of their life in professional capacities that can be translated in many, many ways to different disciplines. And I think as soon as we change that mindset with people, that's why I'm so vocal and proud
Yeah,
about
for sure.
why I'm a boot camp grad, because I did not see that when I was going to my boot camp. And I know that it's not something that people necessarily feel a lot of like pride around or maybe want to
Mhm.
hide, but I think it's really important to be a visible senior person with a non-traditional background to show other people that it's possible. Because I thought when I was going into this, I was like, oh my gosh, everyone's going to think I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm doing. And then when I got my first job, I was like, oh,
We're all
I
idiots,
know how to
though.
do most of these things. It's just upskilling this technical part. So
Yeah.
for anybody out there who's really hesitant about hiring non-traditional background folks, my advice is to get over it, because you're missing out on some really amazing candidates. Oh, I
Yeah,
should have done
so-
that in a TED Talk. I'm
Yeah, you should
sorry.
have done that in the
I
TED
should have
Talk.
been a TED Talk.
Hold on, let me go. Okay.
Make yourself big.
Oh,
The
I
big
gotta be the
boy.
big boy. I gotta be the big boy. Okay. It's been a while since I've been in a TED Talk.
Oh, that was timed perfectly, PJ. That
I'm good at it.
animation. Yeah.
Good timing.
In conclusion, it's important that you remove. What is this? Turn ring on? Welcome
What?
to your talk. Start recording and say something. Turn ring on.
What is a ringer? Oh.
Wait, hold on. Is this from the Snap filters? This is from
Yes.
Okay, so it's a Snapchat lens, right?
Okay.
So it thinks you're on a phone.
I'm not on a
Oh.
phone. I'm not on a phone. Well, I give up on the TED Talk. We're making you the big boy again.
I'm so excited to have nightmares about Woody tonight. I can't wait.
Wait, I have a question real quick. So
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
you and Chloe were building like Shania bot and things, I noticed that you were like going through documentation and like figuring out ways that it could be improved. Like, how do you think your English teacher background has kind of shown a new light? What do you think your background as an English teacher like enables you to do in the tech industry? Like, what does it bring?
Great
in your
question.
I
opinion?
am I'm about to toot the biggest horn all on my own, and it's basically that I am good at writing.
Yeah.
I am a published poet. I have written copy for local businesses. I have been editing papers my whole life, and I've always been a decent enough writer. Y'all should actually the email I wrote to let my school know that I was leaving was like really good. It was really good. But I know how to express myself in the written word. I know tone. I know how to write to parents. I know how to write to students. I know how to write to all the stakeholders in school, and I know how to communicate. And you can't always teach communication. There are whole classes dedicated to getting professionals that are been working in the field for like 20 years. And if you ask them to talk to another person to explain what they know, it's hard for them, and that's normal. Most people can't do what I do, and I'm good at the soft. My soft skills are razor sharp.
He's got the skills to pay the bills. Yeah, I think that's such an undervalued thing. I mean, it was the same thing for me. I think a lot of the way that I had to pitch myself was like, look, am I the most technical candidate that you have? When I was a junior, no. But my public speaking presentation skills are up here. So if you're willing to level me up, I'm the opposite of most of your candidates. Most of them do not have the soft skills, and their technical skills are here. So you can make a choice on what you want to upskill. And I am prime. I am a blank canvas ready for you to skill me. Shout out to CodeFresh. CodeFresh is an amazing company that took a chance on me. And shout out to anybody who hires a junior non-traditional background candidate and mentors them. It is so needed in this space.
Even people who have degrees and people but without the experience, it's so daunting.
Yeah.
There are kids, sorry, I'm 36. There are people coming
You're 36?
Yeah. I have the smooth face filter.
How old did you think he was?
like 30, like max.
No, man.
Wow.
Old. 85.
You
But
look
yeah,
fab
people.
for 85,
Thank you,
honestly.
bud.
You
Skinner
use
I
like
jeans.
appreciate it.
heels or like
It's all the Korean masks. But no, like people that are coming out of college have a hard time too, and
Yeah.
it's you can have this degree and you could have been working on amazing projects in college, but getting that first job can be really difficult. Brandon actually, he talks about when he got out of college, he had one offer from a company in Florida, in Melbourne, Florida, and that was what he took. You know, like it's hard for people to get their foot in the door. There
Yeah.
is as and I agree with Chloe that for the non-traditional background people, there's I think it's not I wouldn't call it harder necessarily. I'd say it's a different difficulty.
Mhm.
Like it's hard for new people to get in, but at least you've got that computer science degree that a lot of people are looking for. It's hard for a non-traditional that switched later in life to come in, but you've got 11 years of being a professional and the experience that you can sort of like put forward to people and like put that foot forward first.
And what's interesting is, and what I've found for myself, for all of the folks that I've mentored from a non-traditional background, the hardest part of the interview for y'all isn't the interview itself. It's getting the interview.
The interview,
It's
yeah.
getting through the front door. And I've said this multiple times on the show, but I'm very privileged, and I have a partner who is very, very involved in the tech community. All of my friends were working at all of the different FANG companies in the Bay Area. And I was told by our career services people at Hackbright and everybody that I knew, you're going to have no problem getting a job. You have all these connections. But unfortunately, there are a lot of obstacles in place, recruiting software being one, recruiters who don't actually understand what the job description entails, job descriptions that are really beefed up. I mean, I've seen job descriptions before that have required like 10 years of Docker, and I don't even think Docker has been around that long. But this is all to say, and this goes out to everyone out there who's watching or listening and feeling really hopeless about the job search, is this industry fundamentally has built its recruiting tools and hiring practices around keeping folks, not intentionally, but has in a way kept folks like us outside. The example I love to give is when I worked at a company in the past, I referred someone and they could not fill out our application because the drop down menu for a degree only had technology degrees and they had a theater degree. So I couldn't apply for an own job at my own company. So if you're a recruiter, if you're a hiring manager, do yourself a favor, make sure you talk to your recruiters, look at your practices. I get a lot of people who come to me all the time who are like, where do I find these amazing candidates? And I'm like, you literally are not letting them through the front door. Like, I
There's PJ.
gotta open it up. They're right
Let
here.
me in. Let me
They're right
in.
here.
Wait, Chloe, I have a question because when I was applying to junior roles back when I graduated college, a lot of them required a lot of previous experience, or like one of the job descriptions I think required like 5 different framework knowledge. So like how do you determine if like a job is worth applying to or if you get auto rejected? Like what is your advice on that?
Well, first, God damn it. It's still on there. I was so excited that it would work. So advice. So the question is advice for
make
these
yourself
job
the big
descriptions
boy
that have a lot
anyway.
of like expertise that you don't have.
Yeah.
Is that the question?
Yeah.
Well, there is a study that I share with a lot of women that I mentor that is about how women will not apply to jobs where they don't fit like something like 90% of the job requirements on it.
Uh-huh.
My advice to people is to apply no matter what. The worst thing that can happen is you don't hear from them or you get rejected. A lot of these job descriptions, I can tell you as a former recruiter, are copied and pasted, put together by folks who don't really understand the technology. I would say it never hurts to apply. In the same way it never hurts to audition as an actress, it never hurts to apply. There are going to be the best way to kind of get through the, like, here's an example.
Uh-huh.
I recently had an incident on Twitter, and people are sending me a lot of job opportunities. And a lot of the folks who messaged me in my DMs said, FYI, this says senior title, but we're flexible on that. And like, that's great. But the job title shouldn't say senior then if you're open to junior candidates. that being said, with about 4 or 5 people out of the couple hundred that messaged me this week who said something similar to this, I think this is just data to say like a lot of these job descriptions are probably a little inflated and bloated. But yeah, I mean, it's tough. I'll tell you, I applied for so many jobs, especially when I was a junior. You know, when I first started my job search, I exclusively was applying to junior dev roles, apprenticeship programs, because sadly, internships usually require a GPA, and are just we're kind of shit out of luck for that if you're someone like myself or PJ. So my advice there is take the job description as guidelines. No one is ever going to bring you onto an on-site expecting that you're something that you're not. They will have seen your resume, they will have screened you and talked to you. So don't let that limit you. But it can be intimidating. I mean, like, I remember applying for jobs and reading stuff in the job description where I was like, I don't know what this word means.
What that mean?
What that means. So yeah, and it's but it's you kind of have to apply for this for your first role in tech from a non-traditional background. You kind of just have to throw caution to the wind and hope that someone opens the door. It's hard. Really, it's hard to get in the door.
There's certainly not anything bad that can happen from throwing your resume on the pile. I don't think. I always feel, and I understand that hesitancy, because I'm having that hesitancy right now of like, well, why waste the energy to do it at all? Well, like if it's a lever application and you've been filling out lever applications all day, it's going to take you 30 seconds to throw your links in there, attach your resume, and just send it off. If that's the best you can do, then do it, you know? And Dr. Guffels.
Oh, this is great.
Advice there. Yes, absolutely. The first one though, the one before,
Oh, wait. There's another one.
Wait, can you do a dramatic reading of it, Chloe, of Dr. Guthels?
I mean, I don't have to try. Everything that I do is dramatic.
That's true.
Let me find number one. Here we go. Just give this advice to a friend. 1, companies and teams often hire up or down. Yes, they're looking for that candidate, but sometimes they're okay with hiring someone more junior with the expectation that they will need a bit more mentorship. Absolutely. 2, when it says X plus years experience, it doesn't necessarily mean in a professional capacity. Yes, it would be nice, but it can show contributions to open source projects or your own project portfolio that often qualify. Sometimes not. Sometimes they are just looking specifically for a person who has worked in customer-facing product before, but it's worth trying. 3, don't ever disqualify yourself. Let the team say they're looking for some other qualification. The list of qualifications so often larger than what they'll be able to find in one person. And it's unknown based on the job description which qualifications they find more important. So try. And number 4, a software engineer 2 or program manager 2 may be a little high for you right now, but again, could be worth trying.
Even software engineer 1 seems, it'll be like software engineer front end, and I'll look and it's like also
4
back
years
end.
experience.
I'm like, 4 years experience, 3 years, 2-3 years, and I'm like, I'm not there.
There's a tweet that I need to find that I tweeted a couple years ago.
Biggest comment we can get on here.
Probably this one.
It'd be great.
There's a tweet that I recently, or this was like a year or 2 ago, there was like this image that said, have you ever died in a car accident? And it's like when job descriptions ask for previous experience for a junior role. It's just like, where do you expect this to come from? And that's how I felt so much during my job search, was like, I kept getting rejected. Like Hackbright had a demo night where basically it was kind of like speed dating. A bunch of, prospective companies would come and we'd go talk to them. And when I asked, I went through several like multiple round interviews for these companies. And when I asked for feedback on like, hey, what can I improve? They said, we're just looking for someone a little more experienced, which I was like, you knew who you were interviewing.
Yeah, right? You knew exactly what I was,
Yeah. Have you ever died in a car accident? Yeah, great. It's like, I wouldn't be filling out this form if I could do that. PJ.
What? I'm here.
So you are now you're full jobbing, we'll call it. You're jobbing it up. Full time. What has your experience been so far? Have you gotten any interviews? Have you like talked to people? What has it been?
I've been talking to some people. It's been really cool to talk to people and to meet with them. A lot of it's been like, I took some advice that is it Quinny Pig?
Yes, Corey.
Yeah. Corey Quinn. I took some advice from Corey Quinn that was like, if you see somebody or if you see a role, see if you can find them on LinkedIn or on Twitter and reach out to them and say, hey, I just love to pick your mind about this and see what's going on. And so that actually got me a talk with the VP of Engineering at Render. I had an interview with someone at Algolia as well,
Nice.
and that's for a DevRel role that leads up to marketing. What's the term for that? Where like what's the
Reports
group above
into?
you? Reports into. Thank you.
Yes.
I didn't know. I was like, if you go up the ladder, you find marketing. But it reports into marketing, and so like that Algolia interview was cool. I actually did that at 5 in the morning yesterday.
What?
That is called dedication right there. That
And
is the
it was-
type of person you're hiring with PJ.
So
He
the
will get up
hiring
at 5
manager-
a.m.
I will. I'll get up early, y'all. I've been online working like on Twitter, like sending stuff out to people since 8, and then it gets to like 9:30, and I'm like, man, I'm not hearing back anything from anyone. And then at 10, just a bunch of replies came back, and I was like, oh, people don't like get started till later.
Oh yeah. So let me tell you a little tales from the crypt. I remember I got a job interview at Coursera. I am going to call them out. I got a job interview at Coursera, and I, of course, had been dating my boyfriend at least a year at this time, and knew from canonically working as an office manager as well in the tech space that engineers usually don't roll into work until about 11. It was actually one of the appealing parts of becoming an engineer for me because I was having to wake up at 6 to get to my 7 a.m. office manager job. So I remember Coursera scheduled an interview with me, and they're like, great, you're going to talk with this recruiter at 9 a.m. on Monday. And then I remember vividly telling my boyfriend, I think this engineer is going to cancel this interview. I just don't picture an engineer being willing to do an interview 9 a.m. on Monday. Sure enough, 8:45 Monday, I get a message from the recruiter that's like, actually, we're going to have to reschedule this. And they never rescheduled. So
They missed out on Chloe.
They
Coursera
missed-
could have had Chloe, you know.
Messed it up.
But I think it's important to also note, I'll drop a link to it in the chat. I wrote a blog post a while back called Don't Ghost Me, Bro, which is a letter pleading to recruiters to stop ghosting me that I wrote when I was initially doing the job search. And here's the thing. I used to be a recruiter. I get it. I get that like when you get hundreds and hundreds of jobs applications, it's hard to respond to everyone. But don't ghost people. Like, especially if you're in the middle of an interview process, like keep them in the loop. Like be a nice human.
If you've responded back at some point, I feel like that would necessitate a, hey, I'm just responding back to you again later that like this is like it's been filled. And I'm like, okay, and then they can move on. But just getting ghosted. I barely missed out on like online dating, so even the term ghosting has never really been something I had to experience. Very fortunately. That
I got ghosted once. When I used to use this app called Why Don't We? I don't think it exists anymore, but like the
What?
whole point of the dating app was why don't we blank? And it'd be like, why don't we have a picnic in Dolores Park? Why don't we like make a pizza after going to the farmer's market? And I went on this date with this guy, and we went on a couple dates, and then he ghosted me. And then 2 years later, I was working an office manager job, and he was the sushi delivery man for our company food that day, but he didn't recognize me because I had a pixie cut and my hair was a different color, but I was like, thank you. So don't ghost people. They will ridicule you on a stream. Okay. PJ, what is your dream? Like, let's like remove all of the like, oh God, I need this job of all of it. And tell us if you had a perfect world where there were no, like, everybody was responding to your emails, everyone was giving you an interview. What's your perfect job situation? Like, what are the things that you are looking from a company culturally, fulfillment wise, location? Just tell us the perfect scenario. I mean, I know the answer here is ideally you would be working in the middle of Epcot, hopping back and forth between Universal and Epcot, but
That's right. That's the perfect one. Let me think. So most important to me is recognizing where I am in my skill set and being willing to like get me a mentor or someone that I can always go to that is prepared to take that on. I know that I don't know how it is in tech, but a lot of times in education, you'll be given a mentor who is like only been a teacher or whatever position is for like a year, and they're really new to it too. And a year in teaching is like you learn a lot in your first year, but really in teaching you don't really start, like 3 years is the cliff for teachers. Most teachers don't make it past 3 years. Once they're past that, they tend to really stick it out. So I need someone who's like knows that I need some help and knows that I'm going to come to them, but also knows that I'm going to be able to figure out a lot of stuff on my own too. I need a culture that allows me to ask questions and not feel bad about it.
That's important.
And I want a culture where stuff isn't taken too seriously. Like, I really don't take stuff too seriously. And I don't think I do it to my detriment when it's time to, like, I need to put on a tie and be a very serious person and be formal. I can do it. You know how long I've been talking to parents for? Every encounter with a
At the
parent.
Chili's.
At the Chili's, I'm selling
$5
margaritas. I understand when it needs to be formal, but I feel like a lot of people think serious means it can't be fun. And I need a culture that recognizes that fun and work kind of go hand in hand, and that it's okay to enjoy your work if you put enjoyment into it. So
Wait, Chloe, I have a question. So I know you've been a bunch of tech roles since you've kind of exploded in the tech scene in the last couple of years. So what has been some of like the positive traits that you've seen in your previous or current workplaces that PJ should also be looking for in their role?
Votes. I would say the number one question, I think you nailed it, PJ, is making sure, like, hey, what are the mentorship, like, what mentorship is available to me at this company? I think especially for my first two roles, making sure that I ask, like, hey, am I going to have the support? Like, I am new to this industry. Will I have the support to learn how to do this? Is this job going to be able to teach me the skills? Because, like, we all know this is tech. Like, we don't stay at one job forever. Unless you work at Microsoft, then you stay there like 20 plus years, according to all the people I work with. But I think when you are interviewing, I know people say this a lot, but as a candidate, you're interviewing the company as well. So if you see any red flags in the interview process, and I'm talking, this can be an array of red flags. I have interviewed before. Here's a great example. I interviewed at a company once where, like, I knew I wasn't going to get the job, and the interview went okay, but even if I had been offered the job at the end, they were like, hey, thanks so much for coming in. By the way, we're interviewing another woman later, and, like, I think you guys would really get along. And I was like, no, like, this is I'm okay. I think, I've also interviewed places where I've gotten a really, like, especially in Silicon Valley, there'll be kind of this mentality of like, hustle, hustle, hustle. We stay overnight and we get the work done and, like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, not for me. I want work-life balance, and I want to be able to, like, enjoy my life outside of this company. So I think it's really hard, especially when you're in a position like PJ or any of the folks that we have on the show, where you're like, God, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. Like, you're like, I need this job. I literally need this job to survive. And it's really, really hard, I think, to especially when people really, really need a job, to say, like, you have more power than you think. Like, yes, you can say yes to this job opportunity at this company that has a lot of red flags, but you'll be looking for another job in like 2 to 3 months. Because, like, so would you rather wait a little longer? So this is all to put in perspective of, my boyfriend has been in the industry a lot longer. When I was interviewing for my first role, I remember interviewing for a couple companies in San Jose, and he's like, yeah, no, you're not going to commute to San Jose. Like, that is over an hour commute. And, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I need a job. And he's like, you need to not be commuting an hour. Like, you need to think about what things you need. So I would say good things to look out for. A great example that I love to give is when I applied for Sentry, one of the best companies I've ever worked at. I was super, super appreciative that, and this was just a small thing that I picked up on. They had given me ahead of time, of course, a list of candidates who were going to interview me. And after my first candidate came in, the recruiter came in breathless and was like, hey, Chloe, so sorry. Someone pointed out, I think it was Max just pointed out, your last interviewer, that you're only being interviewed by men today. And we want to make sure that you have some diversity interviewing today, or some diverse candidate, or employees interviewing today. So we have
Yeah.
a non-binary person and a woman interviewing you for the next one. And I was like, great. Like,
Wow.
just that's, and in my mind, I'm like, great. A man pointed this out and they fixed it immediately and made my experience more positive. So I think when there's a lot of tendency in tech to showboat a lot and say, hey, here's our hiring practices, here's how great our culture is, here's how we operate out in the open, but actions speak louder than words. I think that is the theme of the year with accountability is you can say whatever you want about how great your company is and how you have synergy and you know, we have the best food, we have the best perks, we have everything. But if you are not treating your employees well, ain't nobody going to want to work at your company. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Also, turn ring on.
Turn ring on.
But yeah, I think like it is important. Oh, now I can't make PJ the big boy. There we go. It's really important to make sure that you are vetting the company as well because you are making a big commitment by working at a company. You're giving your time and your energy.
It is a big commitment. I want to give you all 40 hours of my time a week, and now in teaching, it was more like 50, but like that's how it is. But yeah, it's an exciting time for me because I'm only 2 days unemployed, and I haven't quite hit that 4 weeks. Oh my gosh, like the money is running low and it's not gonna happen. I haven't hit that yet, but I do feel confident. I've been doing these Twitch shows for a while. I've been streaming with Chloe once a week for a couple months now. I've been streaming with Brandon since I think we started doing the actual streams in like October. I spoke at a Microsoft conference in October at Start That Change, and I gave a talk called Confusion is the Sweat of Learning, about how important it is to be confused on new topics. So I've got like, I'm in the space, and that's something that I'm very fortunate to be in. Like I've got someone like Chloe who literally is like the most important person on the internet right now. And I'm here on her channel, and there's a bunch of people in the comments who are like here to hang out. And Dr. Guffels is in my Twitch channel, which is awesome. Like like people see me, and I'm very fortunate. There are tons of people that y'all aren't seeing, and there are tons of people that don't have Chloe behind them, and tons of people that don't have the presence yet. So make sure that you are reaching out and broadening that net, because if you're only drawing from certain places, you're gonna keep getting the same kind of person. Like Stanford's a damn fine school, but if you're only taking people from Stanford and Harvard and Brown, well maybe not Brown, but like,
that shade though.
If you're only taking from these top schools, you're only getting a certain type of person. And it's important to widen that net because you're gonna find different things, and that difference is what makes them powerful and strong, and that's what makes your business better. Think if they had just had like one person of color on that app that makes you into a painting.
Right.
You guys seen that?
No. Can you like provide some more context?
So there's an app that it like takes a picture of you and it turns you into a painting, and it's making everybody white people. Because the AI they trained it with was all
I heard, or I saw on Twitter, there is a software that is being used in schools right now to make sure that like kids are taking tests or something and they didn't test it on all shade colors of skin, and it's a nightmare.
Like if your AI that like tries to track something does not have a diverse team behind it, it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Like,
my favorite example is fleets. If they had one LGBTQ person in the room when they were naming fleets, then it wouldn't also, like, fleets is a very well-known douching enema in the gay community. If one person had been in the room to be like, hey, probably wouldn't have been called fleets.
Probably wouldn't have done that.
I think also something important to bring up was I think it's really important to see the makeup of teams that you're trying to interview with and joining, because there's a reason that I left my last company is that they said that they value talent, and like that's the reason that they don't have a diverse team. And I think companies must walk the walk. They can talk all they want about diversity and inclusion and things like that, but it's really important, I think, when you interview at a company to ask how they're making their teams more inclusive, how they're making their teams more diverse, and if they have people from non-traditional backgrounds in their company. Because if they have a whole section in their website about diversity and inclusion, and yet they only have Berkeley and Stanford grads in all of their engineering teams, and have that one HR office manager be from a non-traditional background, that is not diversity and inclusion.
Right.
Um,
Dr. Guthels, I
PJ?
just made you a VIP on my channel, so I think you tried to post a link earlier and it didn't work. You should be allowed now, I think.
Yes. PJ, where can people find you on the interwebs?
Literally everywhere. No. But I'm at Metz and Around is kind of my brand, actually. It's my website, metsandaround.com. It is my Twitter handle. It is my... I can't stop, Chloe. You're Woody. It is... I'm on GitHub, Metz and Around. I'm on LinkedIn, Metz and Around, linkedin.in /in/ Metz and Around. I'm all over the place. Also my Instagram, but my Instagram is just like videos of me listening to reggae in my backyard and drinking scotch. So like, I'm that person that when I post on my Instagram story, it's like me listening to music going like, just vibes, y'all. Like, I'm sorry. But that's my IG personality.
Y'all, hire PJ. He's on the market. If you don't hire him now, you're missing out on a sweet deal. Like, you get like a really great engineer at a pretty like reasonable price. He's junior. He's coming into this industry. Give this dude a job. Give this dude a job.
I made a whole thread about it the other day, and it might have looked a little cocky, but like honestly, like I really feel like I will be valuable to you. I am a hard worker, and of course everyone says that, but like I was a teacher and I taught myself to code and I worked with the drumline. I was pushing like 65 hours a week because I'm driven to be the best that I can be. And when someone takes a chance on me, I remember it forever. So
Amen.
Get
When's the merch drop?
When I can start, when I have a job, I'll start making merch, but I don't know who's gonna
Yes, everyone.
Maybe I need Wolfie to help me with merch. Actually, Wolfie made me a super awesome.
The sooner you give PJ a job, the sooner we get merch. Okay.
Yes.
We need the merch. Okay, y'all.
Give me money so I can make coffee mugs for everyone.
Yeah, I am 11 minutes late to a meeting, so I need to go. But y'all, hire PJ at your company as your next junior dev, junior developer evangelist, junior technical writer. Just hire PJ. Yeah, bet. DM me. Okay, Wolfie's going to make merch. So right, also tune in this Thursday for Show Must Go Off the Air. We're probably going to work on Badiana Grande. Or Free Britney Bot. So join us on here. Subscribe to me and PJ. And we will see you next time on Adopt a Dev.
Bye.
Bye, fam.
Bye.